this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder the Capital One Bank guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also tell you about how Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One N.A., member FDIC.
Hey everybody, there's a lot of noise in the business world today. Leaders like you need clear insights from professionals you can trust. Navigating Beyond the Expected is a new podcast from Truist Securities featuring conversations with investment banking experts at the center of financing deals in manufacturing, healthcare, entertainment, and more. It's practical advice for leaders who need to know what's coming next. Subscribe at truist.com/Beyond Podcast.
Copyright Truist Securities Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Hi, everybody. It's Chuck, and I am introducing this week's Stuff You Should Know Selects episode. This is from the vault from 2009, November 12, and it's called How Population Works. And I picked this one because I remember this being a super cool episode because it was one of those where I thought, population, what does that even mean? And how can we make a show out, a full show about this? And it turned out to be great. Josh, I think it was his pick initially, and it's just really, really cool. So if you don't even know what how population works might mean, give it a listen. I think you'll be pretty intrigued.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Punkin' chuckin'.
That's right, Chuck. Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. Clearly, Chuck Bryant's here. And let's talk about pumpkin chunkin', I guess. You just kind of force our hand, Chuck.
Yes, the road to pumpkin chunkin' and pumpkin chunkin'. So that's on Science Channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
You can see some pumpkins get chunked.
Pumpkins get chunked.
Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, Science Channel. The road to pumpkin chunkin' starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Pumpkin chunkin' itself starts at 9.
Great.
Thanksgiving night.
Yes.
Science Channel.
On with the show.
Yeah, Chuck. Have you ever belonged to a population?
No, man. I'm totally independent. Screw populations.
You're like that guy who lives on the commune, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, the joke's on him because a commune constitutes a population.
That's right.
This sounds kind of boring, and you would think it is. We're about to do how population works. It actually started to pick up.
I actually didn't know what it was even going to be when I saw how population works. I was like, what?
You know, it's awesome. This was my idea, this article was. I pitched it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they let you write it?
I don't know.
Jerks.
I know. But the Grabster did a good job with it.
Oh, yeah, the Grabster is always good.
Yeah. Class
That's Ed Grabanowski, by the way.
Right. So, human beings, marriage, human beings tend to congregate.
Yes. And segregate, interestingly.
That is an excellent... You just blew my mind. Good Lord, Chuck. Well, let's get back to what I was saying.
Right.
Unless you want to go on the segregation route.
We'll get on that later.
Humans congregate and segregate, but let's talk about congregation in that most of the time, I would say, our early ancestors, and probably even other species, congregate because there's safety in numbers.
Sure. And it helps, like with farming, collecting water and food, group power numbers.
But even before farming, hunter-gatherers lived in bands of, I think, 30 was about tops. They figured out somewhere along the way that groups of 30 or groups of more than 30, there tended to be a lot more hostility and intergroup problems.
Have you ever tried to kill a mastodon by yourself?
That's another good point, too. There's cooperation.
Easy. Sure.
Mastodon. There's... If let's say if you are farming and your crop fails, well, you're not standing there like, well, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
die
can
now.
say, hey, neighbor, I'll totally give you favors of some variety if you will let me have some of your grain.
Right. I'll give you a chicken, let's say.
Sure. You can trade.
Yeah, barter.
There's a lot of reasons people live together. So it's my theory that people aggregate together naturally.
Yes.
And then there are people out there who get their jollies by studying these groups of people. They're called demographers.
Yeah, demographers.
So we have populations, natural or otherwise, and let's say a natural population today are people who live in a certain state.
Yeah, Georgians.
Right.
That's where we are.
So that you have natural populations, and demographers study them, right?
Sure.
And they look at things like, say, how many people in this natural population are Republicans.
Or Democrat, or how many are Caucasian.
Right.
Or how many have, how many live below the poverty line. All kinds of things you can study.
Right.
By looking at a population.
And are these groups segregated, like you brought up? Mm-hmm. You know, like if you study where different races are living, are they living mingling? If so, then that's probably a fairly harmonious place, hopefully.
Right.
If not, why are they living apart? How do
Right.
we fix this? Because it's probably a problem.
Sure.
Who knows? But yes, so demographers study populations, natural or otherwise, right?
Yes.
The problem is very few people have the ability to hover over the earth and use super binocular vision to study populations by sight.
Yeah, very few people.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4, I think.
Tops.
So
Does that count as a statistic?
I think so.
Okay.
Richard. So measuring populations, is that what you're going to talk about? How do we actually determine this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Well,
that was my segue.
That was a good segue. There's a couple
No,
of
it
ways,
wasn't.
Josh. One is by counting them, literally counting them like a census.
Counting every single person.
Right, and that is called complete enumeration.
Yeah, remember we talked about that poor guy who was killed or possibly killed himself in Kentucky, the census taker?
Right. Oh, I didn't know that suicide was a possibility there.
I got a cryptic email from somebody I never followed up on that said that he identified himself as a doctor and I think said that he was part of the group that was the medical examination team and said that they strongly suspected suicide.
Really?
My problem with it is how do you bind yourself in duct tape?
I don't know.
How do you bind your own wrists in duct tape?
I'll show you later.
Okay. So my point is, wow, you threw me off at that one. My point is that he was called an enumerator.
Yes.
Literally counter.
And that's the people who work for the census whenever they have their drive and they count.
Right.
And that's one way to determine it.
Well, let's talk about the census. It's gone on every 10 years since 1790, right?
Yeah.
And the reason they do it every 10 years is because it's a real pain in the ass to count every person in America.
Yeah, the real reason they do it is so they can, well, there's a lot of reasons, but
No, reveal
taxes.
it. Exactly.
Taxes.
That is the reason why anyone's ever conducted a census.
Yeah, well, plus they determine the number of House representatives for your state based on population, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
But, come on, taxes.
Did you know that that the census information is kept secret for 72 years?
Yeah, aside from the numbers, I believe,
Right.
the public cannot see that information for 72 years.
Right.
I wonder why 72, that's odd.
It is odd.
I wonder if that was the average lifespan at the time or something. Dude, that's got to be it.
I'll bet you're right.
Okay. The other way, Josh, is to do something called sampling. And that is when statisticians use a mathematical formula to determine the minimum number of people that must be counted, and then they multiply that out and basically end up getting a full population. And sometimes, I didn't know this, that's even more accurate than an actual head count.
Right. You see that margin of error, it's like plus or minus 4%.
Yeah, you got to have a margin of error there whenever you're sampling.
Right, because you're not actually going around asking every single person in America, are
Sure.
you left-handed?
Yeah.
To determine how many people are left-handed.
Yeah.
But let's say you have a population of 1,000 and some statistician's been like, you need 100 and do it.
But
Do your egghead voice.
No,
Yeah, you need 150 people.
there are 150 people that are left-handed, and you can just multiply that out to determine that there are, in fact,
how many people?
Let's say 10% of the population.
10% of the population.
Right, but
Hey.
your sample is perfect, Chuck. Your sample has to be a random sample to be an effective sample.
Yeah, and you know how they used to do that?
Uh-huh.
They used to just pick it out of the phone book
Oh, I know.
and call people.
I know, and that makes sense to a certain extent. No, it doesn't.
Well, back then it made a little more sense.
I would think it made less sense, especially if you're talking like 1950 or
Well, it depends on what year. I'd say in the 1980s it was probably a good way, but Now there's cell phones. People in college probably don't have a phone.
Poor people who don't have phones at all.
Poor people who don't have phones, sure. So that's not a very good way because...
What about freight train riders of America?
What's that?
They don't have phones.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
They're not allowed.
I don't think they want them. So sampling is a little harder than it seems.
Yeah.
Right, especially coming up with a random population, random sample of the population. But, okay, so so far we've talked about people and where they live.
Right.
There's other ways to define a population. There's other attributes that people have that we use to lump into population.
Yeah,
right?
it's not just a geography. When people think populations, it's not just a city population.
Or state.
Yes. What?
Or
age?
nation.
Age. You can have a population of age.
Or continent.
A demographic.
Right.
What else? Location, of course. Socioeconomic populations.
Let's talk about age. Why would you even want to know age? Who cares? People are old. People are young. Whatever.
Right. Well, there's a lot of factors. Like take the baby boom, for instance. After World War II, all these babies were born, so there was a bulge in the population. And I just like saying the word bulge.
You got to do the air quotes.
Air quotes.
Yeah.
So what that will show them then is, wow, we got a bulge here. So that means probably in 25 to 60 years, there's going to be some serious buying power.
Right.
in
Let's
this
start
country.
borrowing as much money as we can right now.
Right. But it also means in 70 plus years that they may be a medical burden and a burden on Social Security and that kind of thing.
So let's start borrowing as much money as we can right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Same result there. I like that.
And we'll get to bulges again in a little bit.
Yes.
But let's move on. Like you said, socioeconomic data, right?
Yeah. Why would they want to do this, Josh?
This one I find this the most interesting of all data.
Okay.
You can look at a bunch of people who are maybe related geographically.
Right.
But other than that, aren't related in any other way.
Sure.
And all of them suddenly have this horrible cancer, and there just so happens to be some paint
High-tension
manufacturer
wires. Yeah, or that.
nearby. What did you say?
High tension wires.
Sure. Which has been proven, I think, to not actually have any effect on people.
Not in my book, buddy.
So now all of a sudden you have this information, thanks to your demographer friend who went and collected it.
Uh-huh.
And you can say, okay, paint factory, you guys better start giving away some free paint.
Yeah.
Or we're going to sue you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Race.
Yeah.
That's a little more hinky because technically there is no such thing as any difference in different races.
I remember watching MTV years and years and years ago, and the VJ was interviewing the Beastie Boys, and he was like, Mike D, I hear you're dating a black girl, you know, what's it like dating somebody from a different race? Which is just an asinine question to begin with. But I remember Mike D going, there's only one race, the human race. And I was like, Mike D's right.
That was
wise words, Mike D.
That was clearly before he was down with the Ione. Or no, that was Ad Rock. Sorry.
Yeah, Ad Rock's down with the Ione.
Yeah. They're divorced, though, so he's not down with her anymore.
Poor Ione.
So, yeah, race is a little hinky, but you can actually determine some useful things when you study populations of race because of, like, you know, it's important for people to be involved in their culture.
Yeah.
And to hang on to that, for sure.
I guess racial profiling, again, I don't know if I should say again or not, but it's such a hot button issue.
Right.
That, yeah, I don't know. We need to talk about it collectively. That's my answer for everything. Everybody needs to get together and decide what we want to do, okay?
Well, the other thing with race, though, is if there's a medical problem that's specific to that race, that can help out.
Exactly.
Sure.
Hey everybody, here's a fact for you. In the United States, there is a break-in every 26 seconds, and that means that somewhere right now, an intruder is getting closer. And the problem with most security systems is that they only alert you after the break-in has started, and that's too late.
Well, that's what makes SimpliSafe different. They use alerts. SimpliSafe's U.S.-based live agents, they identify threats on your property and help deter them before they actually break in. So the intruder never gets into your house. The crime is stopped before it even starts.
That's right. And another great thing about SimpliSafe is they have no long-term contracts. They give you peace of mind and great value with their monitoring deterrence plans because they just start at about $1 a day.
Yeah, SimpliSafe sent us a setup years back, and I still use mine every day.
Yeah, and apparently setup, you can do it by yourself in under 30 minutes, so it's a really good value and it doesn't take long.
So if you want to experience the SimpliSafe peace of mind, you can take advantage of the SimpliSafe discount offered to Stuff You Should Know listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/stuff. That's half off at simplysafe.com/stuff. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. You know, it's hard to believe that the first phone call ever happened over 150 years ago. Just think about that, Chuck.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And I'm Gen X, so I grew up talking on the phone with my friends in high school and stuff, and it was a really fond memory.
And over all these years and all these phone calls, AT&T has been there, connecting people in meaningful ways. And this is more than a story of technological innovation. It's a story of human connection.
That's right. Over that 150 years, there's been a lot of connection with people, whether it was me in high school or family connecting with one another long distance or those long distance relationships. And AT&T has been there for it all. Connecting changes everything. AT&T.
Learning stuff with Joshua and Charles. Stuff you should know.
All right, so Chuck, we've got all these different factors.
Yes.
Attributes, variables. We've used the word demographer several times. So we know that people study populations. One of the reasons why we study populations is to see how big it's getting.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, buddy, the human population has kind of exploded on this planet in the last several thousand years.
Yeah, but you know what? Reading these stats, there were a lot more people here way back when than I thought.
Yeah, again, favorite book of all time, 1491. Charles C. Mann.
Yes.
He basically points out that there is probably 100 million people on the North American or in the Americas in 1491.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is a fifth of the world population, is way more than anyone thought.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because 1492, Columbus shows up, smallpox just ravages both continents, and by the time the European settlers start coming for real, the place is decimated. It seems like there's nobody there.
Right. Well, he had the whole genocide too thing. Did you ever know about that, Columbus?
I hear his men used to sharpen their knives on the skulls of live natives.
Well, there's because genocide we talk about later on in the article, but there's speculation that Columbus may have been responsible for the worst mass genocide in human history.
Wow!
By completely wiping out the Taino Indian people.
Really?
And that was in Hispaniola, which is modern day, I think, Haiti and Dominican Republic. And some people say there were only 500,000 of them, and some people say there were as many as 15 million at the time that were decimated to about 2,000.
Decimated through violence or through disease?
Yeah, well, through
Or
violence,
both?
because Columbus came over, set up a camp in Hispaniola with about 40 people, and then left, came back on trip number 2, and found that the Indian tribe there had killed all those people. So he went on a kill crazy rampage, basically, and completely wiped out the population.
Yeah.
And they're saying it may have been double the size of the Holocaust.
Wow. So happy Columbus Day, everybody.
Yeah, seriously. But we do mention that because genocide is a way that a population can change rapidly.
Well, let's talk about population growth.
Yes.
All right. So I guess about 10,000 BC, they estimate that there's between 1 and 10 million humans. So we're starting to slowly grow because by 1000 BC, there's 50 million.
Yeah.
And then by 600 CE, we're at 200 million.
See, that's a lot more than I thought
Yeah.
there would be at the time.
Yeah. I think there was about 500 million in the mid-15th century.
Crazy.
So let's say there's 500 million in the mid-15th century. The 20th century, the Industrial Revolutions happen.
Yeah.
There's been great leaps
Sure.
in science and medicine.
That's when populations really grow, is during those big booms.
Yeah, because it lends itself to fertility, higher in fertility, and longer lifespans.
Yeah. Good times breed kids.
So the 20th century hits, we're at 1.5 billion people.
Indeed.
And then this century, the population of the world has quadrupled.
Yeah.
like 6 billion. I know that it sounded like there should have been a drum roll there, but I'm
there
impressed
was.
by that.
Jerry might have put one in there, our producer Jerry.
We'll find out later.
And Josh, here projecting, the U.S. Census Bureau projects that by the year 2050, there will be 10 billion people.
Right. So the reason for this is what we call the Malthusian growth model.
Yes.
Malthus was a 18th century clergyman.
Yeah, Thomas.
He actually, I guess, inadvertently became one of the great economic theorists. And he figured out that population grows exponentially.
Right.
So if you have 1 million people and they have enough kids to double the population, but the next generation you have 4 million people. So in one full generation, you've gone from 1 million to 4 million people.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's big.
It is.
Especially when the planet is finite in size.
Right.
And we don't have the ability to go colonize other planets yet.
Right. But it's not necessarily that incremental and steady because of what we talked about, which are bulges or spikes and bottlenecks, like genocide.
Right, yeah. So it doesn't always grow steadily. And actually, Chuck, have you heard of the replacement rate?
No.
The replacement rate it's how many kids a woman has to have to have a high statistical probability of having a daughter. So that she, in essence, replaces herself.
Gotcha.
And right now it's 2.33 is the replacement rate worldwide. And the point of it is to trend toward zero population growth.
Right.
So for every woman who dies, she has a daughter that can reproduce and continue on and continue on and continue on. So you have overall as many people dying as are being born. So there's no strain.
Right.
And there's also no dearth.
Well, it's equilibrium. Reading this reminded me of when we did our big econ audiobook. It's kind of population kind of wants to seek equilibrium, I think, like just like economics does.
And it doesn't always happen organically. I should say it probably rarely happens organically. Yeah. Well, let's think about like you said, the baby boom. Post-war success in Europe and the U.S. And Canada, I guess, led to a huge boom in the population.
Yeah.
Nobody went to war to grow the population. It was just an indirect effect. So all of a sudden we had a population spike that created a bulge.
A bulge, if you will.
Things can go the other way too.
Right.
Which is a bottleneck, right?
Yeah, and that's, God, if I say genocide one more time. We should do a podcast on genocide.
I wonder if there's a drinking game where every time we say genocide, that's crazy.
Genocide, drink.
Yeah.
Famine, disease, something called the plague, I think wiped out like half the world population at one point, or half the population of Europe.
They suspect that in the 5th century, that would be CE, the plague of Justinian may have killed as many as half the world's population, 100 million people.
Unbelievable.
Can you imagine walking around at that time like, holy crap, the entire half the world is dead.
Yeah.
Just died in the last couple of years. It's crazy.
Well, and the Black Death killed 20 to 30 million Europeans.
Yeah.
So
plagues can happen. There's also, I was talking to an evolutionary geneticist, as is my way.
Sure, at lunch today.
Recently, and he was talking about a study he authored where they found 2 evolutionary bottlenecks. One coming out of Africa, they suggested it 50,000 years ago, and another one that happened along the Bering Land Bridge.
Right.
And he wasn't saying like all of a sudden a bunch of people died, but these bottlenecks turned up because big groups of people separated into smaller groups of people, which accounts for a loss of genetic diversity.
Gotcha.
So you have the founder's effect because, as he put it, if you go into a town and grab the first 15 people you meet, and say, let's go found a new town, that new town isn't going to have a representative sample of all the surnames in that town.
Sure.
If you do that enough times, some surnames are going to be lost because people didn't reproduce or whatever. Same thing happens with genes and genetic diversity.
Wow, look at you. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Can I mention this place in Hong Kong?
Yeah.
We were talking about, we should mention population density is the number of humans per unit area, whatever unit you choose to call it.
Right.
And the highest ever is believed to have been a place called Kowloon Walled City in Hong Kong. And at one point, evidently, there were 50,000 people in a mega block, which is 500 by 650 feet.
Yep.
50,000 people stuffed in there.
Yeah, and apparently it was a lawless district, the Grabster says.
Of course, you kidding me?
Well, 50,000 people could conceivably get along.
Yeah, hands across America style.
Did you know that in Athens, when Widespread Panic played that free show, there was an estimated 100,000 people there, not one fight?
Really?
Yeah.
That's because they were all on dope.
The dope.
I wasn't there. Were you there?
Huh?
Yeah, I never got into them. Although I did hang out with that guy, the bass player.
Day schools?
Yeah, I hung out with him a couple of times, just through friends.
Sure.
Anyway, that park is it is now a park where the walled city used to be.
Yeah, which is the opposite of the highest
Population density.
Exactly.
Yeah, ironically.
It's just a park. Maybe the highest population of grass, but that's it.
Hey everybody, here's a fact for you. In the United States, there is a break-in every 26 seconds, and that means that somewhere right now, an intruder is getting closer. And the problem with most security systems is that they only alert you after the break-in has started, and that's too late.
Well, that's what makes SimpliSafe different. They use alerts. SimpliSafe's US-based live agents, they identify threats on your property and help deter them before they actually break in. So the intruder never gets into your house. The crime is stopped before it even starts.
That's right. And another great thing about SimpliSafe is they have no long-term contracts. They give you peace of mind and great value with their monitoring deterrence plans because they just start at about $1 a day.
Yeah, SimpliSafe sent us a setup years back, and I still use mine every day.
Yeah, and apparently setup, you can do it by yourself in under 30 minutes, so it's a really good value and it doesn't take long.
So if you want to experience the SimpliSafe peace of mind, you can take advantage of the SimpliSafe discount offered to Stuff You Should Know listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/stuff. That's half off at simplisafe.com/stuff. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. You know, it's hard to believe that the first phone call ever happened over 150 years ago. Just think about that, Chuck.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And I'm Gen X, so I grew up talking on the phone with my friends in high school and stuff, and it was a really fond memory.
And over all these years and all these phone calls, AT&T has been there, connecting people in meaningful ways. And this is more than a story of technological innovation. It's a story of human connection.
That's right. Over that 150 years, there's been a lot of connection with people, whether it was me in high school or family connecting with one another long distance or those long distance relationships. And AT&T has been there for it all. Connecting changes everything. AT&T.
So what do we got here, Josh? We got population control is something that we've referenced before with our China one-child policy.
Yeah, and we talked about why you would want to control a population. A huge group of people put a strain on resources.
Sure.
When resources go away, you have resource conflicts, like in Darfur. Again,
genocide.
Right.
Sadly.
There's all sorts of problems that come from too many people coming or living in one place because of the strain it puts on resources and resource allocation, right? And yeah, you can control the population, e.g., state-mandated reproduction.
Right. I.e. China.
Right. And that actually works, as China shows, although much to the detriment of some people. Thank you, Chuck, for that look. And
not everyone thinks, some people think we should add more people, though.
Well, yeah, there's
Japan.
In other countries, there's a problem of population decline. So we talked about the strain people put on an area. That's carrying capacity, which we've talked about before. And that's also from Malthus.
Right.
That eventually human population is going to outstrip advances in technology or our resources, and we're screwed.
Right.
On the other side is shrinking, population shrinking. And what's the problem with that?
Well, you don't want the population to shrink too much because you need those hands to go to work and to contribute to the economy and to grow the grain and sow the flour and all that good stuff. And apparently in Russia, Japan, and Australia, they all have little incentive programs.
Yeah.
To make little babies.
Sure.
How about that?
Which is the way to go. Remember John Fuller's famous quote, when he was pitching an article about that program in Russia, and he was talking about Putin giving away a TV.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
Have a baby, get a TV.
I think you had to be there. And check the reason why some of these places are seeing a population shrink and are having to, I guess, give incentives to reproduce.
Right.
Started in about 1960.
Birth control.
That's so crazy that it had an effect. That much of an effect. That pronounced of an effect.
Yeah. Well, it would seem like it would, though.
I guess so.
Because it's called birth control.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Before that, it was called have as many babies as you possibly can.
Right. It was called no control.
Right. All right. So clearly, there's a lot of reasons to study people.
Yeah. It's way more interesting than I thought it would be.
There's a lot of stuff to study, too.
Indeed.
You can find out whether or not we're going to kill the planet, or whether people need to stop using contraceptives, or whether what your chances are of Putin giving you a free TV.
Right.
It's all in there. It's all demographers know everything.
All there for the taking.
So when your friendly enumerator comes knocking on your door, don't chase them off your land with your dog or a gun.
Right.
Let them in. Give them some lemonade, maybe some cookies.
Yeah, well, check their laminate first, but before you let them in.
COA, Chuck, good going. And if you want to know more about population, you can read Grabanowski's great article on the site. Just type in population in the handy search bar at howstuffworks.com, which of course leads us to listener mail.
Josh, I'm just going to call this your turn at listener mail. Because I think you have to. Talk about somebody.
Good. Yeah, I don't necessarily have too much listener mail per se, but I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple of fellow Toledoans. One who's a longtime resident, one who's a recent transplant. Christopher is holding the fort down in Toledo for me.
Keeping it real.
He has officially lobbied the Congresswoman from Toledo to get me the key to the city.
Dude.
How awesome would that be?
That happens.
Yeah. So Marcy Kepter, if you're listening, I would like that.
If you
very
get a
much.
key to the city, we got to go for a ceremony, and I at least want to get like a keychain to the city.
Okay.
And you can have the key, but
okay.
I get the keychain.
We'll see what we can do.
All right.
So yeah, Christopher has officially petitioned her. He's suggested that I'm the third most famous Toledoan of all time.
After Jamie Farr.
Jamie Farr, Danny Thomas.
Oh yeah.
The great entertainer.
Sure.
And then me. And I was like, I think you're forgetting Katie Holmes. She's from Toledo.
Is she?
And he's like, no, you got her beat.
Yeah, no, Kate Cruz, you mean?
Oh, is it Kate Cruz now?
Yeah, give me a break.
So anyway, thanks a lot for the effort, Christopher, even if it doesn't come to fruition. If it does, you will get a firm handshake and a free Friendlies Sunday of your choosing from me.
Oh, I love Friendlies.
Yeah, we'll be going to Friendlies if we go to Toledo,
For
buddy.
sure.
And then I also want to say hi to Colin, who is a recent transplant, as I said, from Colorado, I believe.
Who moves from Colorado to Toledo?
He moved to Toledo to attend Bowling Green State University.
Oh, okay, sure.
Go Falcons.
Yeah.
My brother went there. And Colin did so in an 88 Dodge Colt.
Right.
That's having a couple of problems. One, the rear struts are completely detached, and the axle is holding on by a tread, he says. And the mechanics didn't want him to leave when he took it in for service. So they're like, you're going to die in this thing. And the other problem is it has ants, he says.
I've never heard of a car having ants.
I had ants in a car once.
Really?
You can't get rid of them when they come in.
Well, that's probably when you were living in the car, which was probably always parked on the anthill.
This is actually prior to that, when I lived in the car. But yeah, no, it's a real problem. And Collins basically just bit the bullet and said, "Well, I have ants in my car now." He loves his '88 Dodge Colt. He said he loves Toledo. He's enjoying it. He went to Tony Paco's, as I suggested.
I got to try that one day.
I also told him to go to Rusty's Jazz Cafe.
Nice.
It's as authentic as it comes. It's awesome. Hey, Christopher, hey, Colin, you guys enjoy yourselves. Be safe in Toledo.
Heck yeah.
Buckle
Go
down
Mudhens.
for the winter. Go Mud Hens. And thanks for writing in. And if you want to say hi to me or Chuck or both of us.
Chuckers or Jerry.
Right. Chuckers, Jerry, Chuck or Chuck or me, Chuck and me.
Right.
You can put that in an email to stuffpodcast@howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com. Want more How Stuff Works? Check out our blogs on the howstuffworks.com homepage.
Hey, quick question for the parents listening right now. When's the last time your kid asked for something and you actually felt good saying yes? Because lately, a lot of families have been hearing the same thing. Can I have Lingo Kids, please?
And here's the thing. Lingo Kids is the #1 entertainment platform for young kids with more than 4,000 interactive games, songs, and shows. Astronauts, wild animals, superheroes, dinosaurs. It's literally everything kids love all in one place.
So when they ask for it, you can actually feel good saying yes. Download Lingo Kids for free and start exploring today, or unlock even more amazing content with Lingo Kids Plus. And if you go with the yearly plan, you can save up to 60%. Just search Lingo Kids in the App Store or Google Play. Lingo Kids, everything kids love. You know, you could be adored by everyone and still completely ignored by your cat. Trust me, I know. But if you feed your cat Sheba, you can go from being ignored to truly adored in 12 days, guaranteed, or your money back. Sheba has a full menu of products, appetizers, entrees, treats, even a kitten's menu. It's so cute. So Sheba has a product for even the pickiest eater. Like Sheba Puree, it's made with bone broth, they're chef-inspired flavors, it's got a smooth and creamy texture that cats love, and contains no corn, wheat, soy, or artificial flavors. It's food that your cat's gonna love. To learn more, check out Sheba.com. That's SHEBA.com.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed Human.